Tafadhali, let's be seated. I know we are tired, we are hungry, we have everything. Sini kweli? And I am not going to make any speeches, so don't worry. I am only here to launch, and to launch will mean kuponyeza, tumalize. But allow me to tell you just three things. One, I, Kahiga, I don't regret the things I have done. I regret the things I'm yet to do. Never fall in that position. And the last one, for every one of you, please be yourself. Everyone else is taken. So be original. Be what? Be original. Last but not least, I want to say this. I want to support the words of Mheshimiwa Kagushia. This country cannot be allowed to go to the dogs in that kind of way we saw. It does not matter our political differences. It does not matter who supports who. Everyone has, the Constitution guarantees freedom of movement. It guarantees freedom of speech, and we must be allowed to go where we want to go. And the fact that, and I want to ask this question and ask it very loudly. Tuliwaambia msiguze mlima. Muliguza. Mbona inawatisha ikiwa imeguzwa? What is the question? Mbona inawatisha? In African society, you do not hit a man who is lying on the ground. It is cowardice, and shame on you, whoever you are. Haya. Muko tayari? Hadi nisikilia kwanza. Muko tayari? Muko tayari? Wapi kalele gavana Mwalimu Mutai Kahiga daftari? Situko sawa? Situko sawa? Haya, bwana gavana, kabla ufanye setup kidogo ya dakika mbili, ningemuomba Kastel, gavana akae chini kwanza, ama akae tu hapa. Haya, ningeomba nani anafanya vote of thanks? Ilishafanywa Ni Junior anafanya vote of thanks. Haraka ufanye venye gavana amefanya, point mbili tu. Sawa, mimi sina mambo mengi. Gavana Gavana. Oza gavana. Asante sana. Mimi gavana sina mambo mengi, mimi ndio nimeitwa Johnny. Mimi nashukuru Mungu kwa weather. Si tu God ametupatia weather mzuri. Tuambie God asante. Tushukuru waziri na department. Thank you very much waziri for the coordination and all that. I want to thank sisi vijana, tuwashukuru. Patia mwingine haifa kumwambia thank you for coming. Nishukuru assembly, asanteni sana waheshimiwa kwa kusababisha hii maneno. The planning committee, our partners, the media team, MCs, mmefanya poa, our artists, service providers.
Ukorona mwana umwe moshari na oyogi nake gera ohose kikubu ogo ni doka no mona kio itwa malaria ma gawatwa ni bidya pare na chakula kwa mkoma ndio kata na tukiania nake tukilana ate gavi kododera ai yuga wiki ile tuga karade chori maudo eka chori ndio sema na mwana kioge ndio sema mwana kioge yuko no mugenyo rendera akili mugenyo yuko ndio ndio sosia mwana kioge ese hake ni mu gakore iki nani kireke hoyo mude ndayo muno kuri family na mahoya maiki muno turugane na tukimenya ati timudo wetara tutoyo oke musio wa mundu itora ona bururi ona ithu turugamite tigane Ngai gutuigwira thate tutigakorwo na undu toyo utigundu munene twikite koguo ithui no twende muno family tumuhoere na mũikoro mwĩna thayũ na mwana ũyũ aretetwo nĩ ithuĩ na andũ aingĩ mũno thĩinĩ wa bũrũri ũyũ koguo twĩna kĩeha tũgĩũka rũgendo rũrũ na niĩ kĩrĩa ingĩhoya ũmũthĩ tũtigatue gĩkuũ gĩkĩ kĩa mwana ũyũ witũ tarĩ platform ya maũndũ wake ĩno nĩ platform ya kũhe mwana ũyũ witũ gĩtĩo kĩrĩa kĩmwagĩrĩire tũkĩmenyaga family ĩno ĩna hatĩka nene mũno mũndũ ũngĩkorwo ena agenda ĩngĩ no tũmũrie tondũ nĩ gũkorwo na mĩcemanio mĩingĩ mũno ya andũ mangĩenda gũthiĩ gũcemania mathiĩ magacemania no ũmũthĩ tuoka nĩ ũndũ wa mwanake ũyũ ũratara mwanake ũrarĩ mwega ũrarĩ na future no Ngai tũtirĩ tũngiuga tondũ Ngai nĩwe ũheana na no tũheaga hakiri na no mũbango yothe no ũmĩũĩ no ithuĩ kĩrĩa tũngĩka nĩ kũhe mwana ũyũ witũ gĩtĩo kĩu. Asante sana tũgũkorwo twĩna inyuĩ tondũ
the bill and actually note that it is a surprise that we did do this sooner because after the promulgation of the Constitution we should have already aligned it with the Constitution. But it has come at the right time. Allow me to pick just a few issues because the issues have been canvassed. Number one, to the mover, there is an issue you have spoken about, retirement on medical grounds. I would like to confirm that it also includes people living with disabilities, those who join with disabilities, and also those who get disabled when they are serving. I say that because if you remember Honorable Denita Gatti, the former Migori women rep, we joined with her in 11th Parliament. She was well, but in 12th Parliament, she was a PWD. So this provision on on Article number 9 should also include PWDs. So that if you want to retire on medical grounds, the PWD aspect is also considered a medical ground, so that if you get the disability when you're serving, or even when you join when you're serving, you have that leeway to be considered at that point. And I also want to agree, Madam Speaker, that the issue of widows and widowers has been discriminatory, and I have said it's because, first of all, it was not ensured that women could serve as members of Parliament, but it is very important that both spouses are included. It's also true, as Honorable Nikala said, that statistically, the men live shorter lives. They have a shorter lifespan, generally, than women. But it's also because men usually have a backup plan, Madam Speaker, and not many stay widowers. In fact, there are very few who stay widowers. The moment their wife dies, it doesn't take long. Within a year, and you look around, even bishops, every kind of men in this country, they won't finish a year, they'll have another wife. But we have so many widows that actually are left to watch their children until they're adults. So I think that was the relationship. But I think times have changed, and we are here, and widowers should be included as widows and given the same rights, Madam Speaker. It has also helped to reduce conflict in families, because when you write that person, when you are doing your paperwork, then all the others that have been canvassed by Honorable Chepkonga, and he said clearly, members of Parliament have no mipango ya kandos, but if they happen to be there, then it will be easy to case that case out, Madam Speaker, because they will be the one on record as your spouse, and you'll save your family and save your children from embarrassment and from matters that can be avoided. Madam Speaker, there is the issue of post-retirement medical scheme, and I think we agree that after you leave Parliament, normally when you're going for election, Madam Speaker, when you're just at the end, in fact, your supporters, even when they know you're going to lose, they will tell you to take a loan somewhere so that you finish this thing, and they know you're going nowhere. So when you lose, Madam Speaker, you lose, you have a loan, you have auctioneers on your door, and sometimes that's why you get members going for their gratuity, because they are desperate. So I think getting this option becomes very important on post-retirement medical scheme. You have a choice to contribute, and I think what Majority Leader has said is also very important, so that when you are able to, it is not so much to contribute 10,000, 20,000, so that at the end of your term, And all of us, Madam Speaker, I mean, the statistics that we've had is that the turnover of parliamentarians is 70%. You'll be very lucky to come back to this house. In fact, when you join this house, your chance of going home is about 70%. All of us are actually queued to go home. Only a few of us have been lucky to do 1-2 consecutive terms. So it is important that instead of begging, when you're out and begging your colleagues, trying to raise some small monies for small procedures in the hospital, you can be able to do that when you can. And this will help us a big deal, Madam Speaker, to give us an option to do that contribution. And when you are out there and you have issues of medical care, you will not have to call a Harambe, because not many people will, first of all, contribute to a member of parliament. You cannot call a Harambe in your backyard. It is not possible. You have to come to this house to beg people who understand what you're going through to contribute to you, Madam Speaker. It's the same thing when you lose, that even the traffic to your house just cuts off, Madam Speaker. So this will help us to cushion ourselves in terms of getting medical care, and it will go a long way to ensure that we are taken care of, and rightfully so, and not from the public coffers, Madam Speaker, but from own contribution that we make from our salaries, Madam Speaker. I support.
Thank you. The Honorable Kainan.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, this is a very important bill, especially for those young first-time members of Parliament. Madam Speaker, once upon a time, a one-time member of Parliament used to be pensionable. But in the year 2000, through this bill called the Omnibus Bill, the then Attorney General wrote a bill at the wee hours of the night. And I can assure you, by the time we passed, the following morning we all got our refunds, and the member of Parliament who was pensionable was just reduced to a member without pension. Madam Speaker, you also realize that we promulgated the current constitution in August 2010. This bill should have been one of the first bills actually to be passed, to be aligned with the constitution. What has happened? 13 years, 14 years, it's because of the fear of the unknown. Madam Speaker, when you become a member of Parliament, first of all, whether you have become a member of Parliament by design, or whether you have become a member of Parliament as a product of this test tube process, madam, you become a leader. Outside there, the community, it's just like what we were debating yesterday. You are bashed, you are criticized, you lose your professional ethics, you lose everything that you have earned over the years as a professional before you join politics. Now, what remains in this difficult world of politics, Madam Speaker, is just like the other state officers. Ask yourself, why is the member of Parliament, who is a state officer, treated differently by SRC, by Treasury, by anybody else, Madam Speaker? It's simply because members of Parliament fear the world outside there. I want to ask you, when you are first elected, the assumption is you are the most powerful. The assumption is you are the most popular. The assumption is you are the most handsome. The assumption is you are the most beautiful. The assumption is you are everything. So when you come here, you lose all those identities. You live here minus your husband. You live here minus your wife. You live here minus your health. You live here minus your wealth. You live here minus your popularity. And I can tell you, by the time you exit there, you will be a pound, you'll be a nobody. So you'll be regretting outside there and say, I wish I did this. I wish I did this. You have an opportunity. Don't fear. You are a state officer. You have the same constitutional entitlements like any other state officer pursuant to the current constitution. Why have you not passed this? I am a member of the committee, the finance committee, that will be bringing amendments. And I can assure you, we have put in place the best brains. I don't want to prejudice. We will give you the best product out of this. We are consulting the PSC, Parliamentary Service Commission. We are consulting the pension department. We are consulting the best brains within the parliamentary legal system so that we refine this bill in the next stage, including giving the member of parliament treatment that befits not only other state officers, but as an elected leader who has served one of the best institutions called the August House. When those amendments come in your share numbers and support it. because that will secure your life after this Augusta House. I always say, if you come to this place with the assumption that you are a potential former member of parliament, you will do well. But if you come here with the assumption that you have reached and you are everything, I can tell you, the term will be 5. So all of us are potential former members. So my definition as a serving member of parliament is I am a potential former member of parliament, because the electorate tomorrow can ask you exit. So what is there for the outside? What is there for you in the outside world? Madam Speaker, we are solving some of the definitional problems. Definitional problems because the current, it's called the National Assembly Pension Act. But we have a bicameral house. It's a second 13 years to harmonize this. Isn't it a shame? Isn't it a shame, members, that we have taken 13 years to domesticate a bill that touches on none other than one of the 3 arms of government? It is. Why have we not done it? Because we fear. But time has come. It is today. The other bit, Madam Speaker, a critical thing, and I am glad that you have alluded to this, and I want to really ask for some few more minutes, is the issue of voluntary post-retirement benefit. I don't want to mention names, and my brother here, I think he has left. Some of the best brains for Thank you. By the time they left, Madam Speaker, the academic world outside there was not willing to accept them. They have lost the flair, the popularity to be a member of parliament. What has happened? A number of them are living in abject poverty in Kibera and many other places, Madam Speaker. We need to cure that so that the member of parliament does not only enjoy respect when you are serving member of parliament, but when you exit, you continue with the same respect. That is why this voluntary post-retirement benefit is so critical to the life and the well-being. And I like the way you have put it, when you are contributing to the life and the well-being of not only the member of parliament, but to the family of the member of parliament, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, that's a critical component in this particular bill. Madam Speaker, the other bill that we have cured, that we'll be attempting to cure, you have served 1 term. By the grace of God, your conscience or our conscience have asked you to exit. What, you came back, what happens? That bit must also be cured. The other bit that will be cured through this bill is you have served 2 terms, you exited, you have gone with your pension, and then you are back for the 3rd term. What happens? That lacuna will also be cured, this, so that there is either continuity or the benefit is defined. Madam Speaker, in conclusion, what I want to say is this. This bill will also be aligned with Article 127 of the Constitution, which forms the Parliamentary Service Commission, because the Parliamentary Service Commission is our trade union. So in conclusion, support this, and I can assure you, you will join the league of the other state officers. Thank you, Madam Speaker.